big dreams, I'ma do big things. Yeah, you see me on the big screen looking so clean. I don't move slow, I move fast right past.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Sam Blaze here, and today I wanted to do a not really a budget showcase because I am going to be using a max enduring legacy, but I'm not going to be playing with anything other than base Blair, no catalyst, no energy activator, and we're going to be doing the Backdraft build, which is essentially just buffing our weapon damage. Now, the reason I have this tier list up is because yesterday I made a video of, it was supposed to be a kind of like for fun thing of who I thought was good and who I thought were the best characters in the game. It got turned into a big debate because, as tier lists do, they spark a lot of controversy. It did not save my pictures that I added on here. Originally I had Haley and Luna as well as Ultimate Valby. It did not save them, but basically I had Haley in the #1 slot here, and then I had Luna up here, which this was more kind of like a for fun thing. I even said in the video that I was biased towards Luna and that I'm like on some massive copium, but I ended up putting her in S tier. I got a lot of shit for that, but regardless, it was supposed to be like a not that serious kind of thing, you know? But regardless, it seems like one of the major issues that people had with the list was Blair being in C tier, so I figured I'd go back and try him out again. I was talking to people in the comment section. I said, you know, like, what are your recommendations to kind of like change my mind on this? Because I played him before, I did not really vibe with him. I didn't think he was that good. I know he did recently get buffed, so that is why we are going to be playing him today. But TLDR, was I wrong for putting Blair in the C tier? Yes, I was, because his overdraft build is going to buff my enduring legacy and give it a lot more damage. Now, it's not going to be like a Haley buff or anything where I'm getting like 100% crit rate or anything nutty like that, but he does buff up your weapon damage, and it doesn't require a lot of investment. As long as you have a good gun, then you gain a lot of value from him because he is just like making it better, like Supply Moisture does for Valby or Firearm Enhancer does for Enzo, you know what I mean? So I already did the testing, I already know I can clear it, but I'm gonna show you guys what build I'm running. But just because I know people are gonna ask me how would I rate him now, I would put him in probably A tier and or S tier. I know that's a big jump, but guys, listen, okay, in my defense, like, content creators don't have every single character energy activated and maxed out, okay? Like, I'm doing my best over here, man. Like, I have all these characters built, but I'm not gonna have every single character in the game maxed out and like energy activated. I don't swipe for my catalysts, I have to farm them. I'm not gonna have that many catalysts to fully max every single character in the game. So when I make tier lists, it's just from my experience of when I played the characters last, seeing them in my party and stuff like that. But I am man enough to admit when I am wrong, okay? So I don't think Blair is bad at all. He did recently just get buffed. I did my boy dirty by putting him down here, okay? It was lack of experimentation. I still stick with everything else besides Blair and Luna, though. If those were your two things, that's fine. I was wrong on those, but everything else I am correct, and it's not even up for debate. And the reason I know that is because I have all of these fully invested. I've tested all of them in builds, and you know, I'm just saying. But I will concede that I was wrong about Blair and Luna. I still think Luna is really good. I probably overshot it by putting her in S. Granted, I did say before I put her in S that I was extremely biased towards support characters because I think they're underrated. However, it's not really a character you would want to go like rush if you're trying to like clear content. She's more like a niche support that's good if you have like a lot of skill power champs on your team or whatever. But again, I feel like I gave the heads up that I was biased. You should take it with a grain of salt, as you should do all tier lists. If you want a mathematically correct tier list of every single character, you're not going to find it, because that would require, well, I guess you could maybe if somebody swiped and bought like 200 catalyst or something. I can't do that. I farm my catalysts. But anyways, regardless, what I'm saying is that you should always take tier lists with a grain of salt. As far as I know, not anyone I know has every single character maxed out and tested every single build in the entire game, because that would just require too many catalysts and too many resources. So always look at tier lists as like a broad generalization rather than like a factual, this character is better than this one. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. But yeah, I would put him in either high A or low S. So he would fall somewhere right here. Don't look at these. These aren't in particular order. I'm just like A and S, you know. I am gonna make an updated tier list, like, and split it up between bossing, farming, and whatchamacallit, like dungeons, I guess, or overall maybe, I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to yap about this for too long. I just wanted to say that I was wrong about Blair being an S tier. I did go back and try him out. I leveled up my mods, threw it on there, like the Backdraft mod, and then tossed on my Enduring Legacy, and he shreds. So yeah, low A or low S, high A would be my new assessment. Also, as I said, you could switch Viessa and you could switch these two right here, depending on the situation. If you have Secret Garden on Freyna and you do her Neurotoxin build, I forget what the build's called, but it absolutely smacks. Her Zero Room Trauma build, I have to go back and look what that build's called, but it cleared hard pyro in like 6 seconds or something. It was something insane like that. So that's why I put Freyna and A over Viessa, but there are times where Viessa could beat out Freyna depending on what you're doing. Anyways, let's jump into the actual video. I'm gonna add timestamps just in case you do not give a F about the tier list discussion. That way you can just skip. So, all right, here we go. So this is what we're gonna be using here. So Backdraft Blair, and then all I'm gonna have on is increase HP, some cooldown, and then some duration. I can't, so the reason I put on maximize duration here, because ideally you want to have shot focus, right? Because it's giving you more attack, because basically the build we're going for is all about boosting our gun, but I just don't know what I would take out for it, because I need the cooldown to keep the uptime on my stacks. And if we look here, basically when you attack enemies inflicted with burn, it increases your firearm critical hit damage. Our Enduring Legacy has fire attack on it. That is going to inflict the burn. So we're good there. And then depending on how many flame zones I have on the ground, it's going to increase my crit rate. And basically how this works is I throw down my 1 ability, I just keep spamming it, and then I press my 2 ability, it sucks in whatever, some mana or some shit, and then we are going to gain some weak point off of how many puddles of fire I sucked in, essentially. So yeah, you know what, let me try taking out this other cooldown mod. I'm just gonna run MP conversion and then shot focus, because I really want the 15% firearm attack, actually, just so we could further boost our damage. Anyways, let's get into it. This is what I'm going to be running. 0 catalyst, 0 activators. We're just going to be using base Blair, level 40. This is my Enduring Legacy. It is going to be stacked the hell up. This is a fully maxed Enduring Legacy, so keep in mind that a lot of the damage is going to be coming from this, but Blair's Transcendent mod is just going to buff it more, right? So let's go ahead and jump into it. I need to change my Slayer set, 1 sec. All right, there we go, much better. Slayer set is really good for like spellcasters, but my goodness, man, it just has like no survivability on it. Like, why does it have shield as 2 main stats? Regardless, I took it off, but we just went from like 6k HP to 12k HP. But anyways, let's go ahead and start this up. We are going to fight, let's see, I don't know, bro, let's wing it. We'll fight as many as we feel like. We're gonna do Executioner first. All right, so the idea here is basically keep my puddles up, my puddles of flame, and then we are going to boost our damage. So we're gonna get, yeah, there we go. We have 5 stacks. Then I press my 2 ability to get the weak point damage, see how it sucks it in. And then we're just going to shoot his shoulder. Nice. As you can see here, the damage is pretty good. He goes immune, so 20 seconds. I might be able to one-phase him if I did that a little bit better. I don't think I was hitting the weak point on his shoulder, but that's okay. All right, let's throw up our puddles again. Do that, suck them in for the weak point damage. Perfect timing. There we go. And we're just gonna keep nuking them here. So we downed him in like a minute. There were a couple mistakes there. I wasn't targeting his weak point some of the times I was shooting him, but that's still a pretty fast clear. So just for anyone who is curious, this is going to be my stats, like without any buffs, right? 27.8% crit rate. So when I have the fire things on the ground, let me get some stacks here. And then we go from that to 62.55%. So that's a pretty significant increase in crit rate. You just have to keep your puddles up though. That's kind of like the only downside. But if you actually built into them, you could probably build around like skill duration up and or skill cooldown, and you wouldn't have to like rotate it as much, but it does stay there like for quite a while. And you get a little bit of crit damage. And then, of course, weak point damage. So overall, actually, I think Blair is poggering in the lair, dude. I think he is actually super viable, and he probably would only get more viable the more you build him. But for only having this, and then, you know, I mean, granted, we have max enduring legacy, so that is doing like a shit ton of damage, but this is just boosting it. So because I feel like if I'm rating Valby so high, like Valby and Enzo so high because of their transcendent mods like supply moisture and firearm enhancer, then Backdraft would be like way up there as well because you're getting so many buffs from it. So I feel like it's only fair. Next up, let's try Dead Bride. She is very weak to fire, but we're not going to really be casting our spells on her. We're just kind of buffing up our damage like from our gun, but enduring legacy is a fire weapon, so it's still going to do more damage. We'll throw up our flame puddles. I think I need more cooldown. It's okay. Let's just do this and then we'll do it. Move your hand out of the way. I gotta put up my puddles again. If you were fully built into Blair, you would not have to like do this so much. But, you know. Alright, she's gonna go immune. Yeah, we are greedy as hell, so I don't care, bro. I am just going to keep firing on her ass. I'll take that. I mean, honestly, it's faster to do it this way. And then let's throw this, speed it up a little bit, throw that on the ground, use our 2 for the weak point damage, and then we are just going to fire on her. Yes, eat it. Yes! Dude, after you break her shield, she takes so much damage. I'll put the time of the clear on the screen. So we cleared her in 1 minute and 16. So about the same as Executioner. The ultimate glade code took me like 100 tries. If I get it here after 1 roll, I'm uninstalling. Good. Of course, we'll be moving on to Devourer. Now, we already know this guy is just gonna get bent over as Devourer does, but I figured it'd still be good to add it in the video just to, you know, if you really like Blair and you want to, like, you know, max the enduring legacy and then use them, I figure I can show all of the hard bosses. That way you can kind of expect like how fast to clear it, I guess. Though of course it's going to change depending on the run, but you know, give or take a few seconds. All right, we'll set this up. Do that. And then we're just going to keep shooting his weak point. And boom. So 16 seconds. Pretty good. I mean, it is Devourer, right? So it's not like this is like crazy, but still really solid for sure. In fact, even if I wanted to, I could shoot like 55 bullets of this. That way I could get my max mental focus stack sooner and probably shave off like 1 or 2 seconds. But regardless, it's kind of a shame that Pyro got nerfed because I would like to see how long it takes us to clear pre-nerf, but we're just gonna have to work with what we got. So let's see how fast we can kill this dude. Yes, yes. Come, my fire brethren. Come. Boom. Whoops. All right, there we go. We got our buffs. Fire! All right, we're just gonna start shooting his shoulder. And okay, all right. Well, I can't one tap them, but hey, still pretty good. I'm gonna clear these guys so they don't mess with me here. Boom! Let's pop our 2. I didn't get max stacks there, but it's okay. Get off me, bro. There we go. Pyro got nerfed, but hey, it is what it is. Still pretty fast clear, to be honest, but yeah, I mean, not bad at all. I mean, you know, I just murdered my own fire brother, but it is what it is. Rest in fire. And last but not least, we're gonna do Swamp Walker. Now, I could probably move on to the later game bosses, but I don't want to grief my teammates going in there more under-geared than I should be. I do not want to be a hindrance on other people. Like, I could probably throw on another survivability mod if I had invested into my character, like some sort of defense mod and or another HP mod. I just don't want to be that guy, so we're just gonna stick to the solo bosses for today. So last but not least, we're gonna do Swamp Walker, then we'll call it at the end of the video, and I will give my final thoughts. Get down here, buddy. I got a present for you. We're just gonna keep shooting the weak point. Alright, he's gonna do his immune thing. Let me get my stacks up here. Oh, come on, bro. Throw that down, pop the 2, and then let's kill these things. Luckily, Enduring Legacy is great for these because it has such a big mag size, and with mental focus on it, they just get like 2 tapped. But we're just going to keep spamming our 1 ability and trying to keep as much uptime on our buffs. It's okay if we die. I mean, it's whatever, but oh, that is bullshit. Well, our ulti got interrupted, but it's alright. We still have our attack buff going for us. All planned so I could reset my cooldown. GG easy. Pop the 2, and then let's light them up. Alright, granted that wasn't a clean run, but I mean, you guys kind of get the idea. I died a couple times, it was a sloppy run, but I don't want to re-record it. Y'all can see the damage output, it's really good. So yeah guys, I just wanted to make a video kind of showcasing a budget Blair Descendant build. Keep in mind this is with a max Enduring Legacy, but you could use something like the Greg's if you wanted to. You know, this is my Greg's build. If you have a Greg's and you just don't have a Enduring Legacy yet, you could also run this build. The crit rate that he gets is going to be like additive, so it is going to boost it more than 25% depending on what mod you are using. Now, is this going to be as good as something like Haley? No, you know, it's not, but I do think that he is definitely not C tier. I would, as I said, place him in A tier and or lower S tier, because I feel like it's only fair if I am basing the tier list off of Valby with her supply moisture, and then of course Enzo with his weak point damage as well. Blair kind of is in that same category, so I feel like me placing him in C wasn't that fair. I am glad that I went back and tested him out and actually threw together like a good Backdraft build, even though like this has no catalyst in it. I'm not 100% correct all the time, guys. I am not gonna have all these characters built up min-max to the roof. I just don't have enough catalyst slots for that, so that's why I said in my tier list video when I made it, this was my impressions with the character. Granted, I do have a lot of characters maxed out, however Blair was not one of them, so I think maybe me placing him in C tier, especially after the buffs, was just overall not fair. And I understand why people who like Blair and play him were like, hey man, he's definitely not C tier. I have been enlightened, okay? He is a good character. I specifically with his Backdraft mod, I love this mod. If they come out with Ultimate Blair, I fully intend to invest in him if he ends up getting like some Transcendent mods that are just better. But I think even with Backdraft, like he's still really good. Now is there better DPS options out there? Absolutely. He's not the best character in the game, I mean that's for sure, but he does for sure have a place in A or lower S. I'll say that much. He falls under those lines of like Valby Enzo, like boosting your gun damage. So I think he's not a bad pick. You know, I didn't put respect on his name. He is he's a good character. I went and tested him with the Enduring Legacy as we saw, and I think he's solid. He definitely can boost up your gun damage, and yeah, overall, I'm man enough to admit when I was wrong, so Blair is not C tier. Appreciate you guys for watching. My name is Sam Explays, and just remember guys, I'm not going to be correct 100% of the time. People just don't have, I don't have 300 catalysts sitting around to max out every character. If I release future tier lists, it's just going to be based through my experiences and what I've tested thus far with the character. There's a lot of characters in this game, and you would need so many materials to min-max every single one. So yeah, it's just, again, if I ever release a tier list, you should take it with a grain of salt. However, I think that the other people on that tier list besides Luna and Blair was a fair assessment, but I will admit that I was wrong with this big guy. Oh, and just in case anyone was curious, the only thing I was using on my reactor was just skill duration up. I just didn't have a good Blair reactor, so I just kind of threw on whatever. But anyways, that is it guys. I am Sam Explays. I hope I see you guys in the next one. I hope y'all have a great day and or night, depending on when you're watching. Y'all take care, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. Peace.